Hey y'all, it's Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. As you can see, today I'm celebrating Half-O-Ween once more. So I'm making these creepy cute Half-O-Ween tags to go in my tag book that I'm working on. And I'm taking these really brightly colored stamps, or they're not stamps, they're tags, and they are leftovers from the Embrace Those Colors workshop that I did with Tracy Evans several months ago. If you guys have not heard of Tracy Evans, if you're not familiar with All and Create or Tracy's amazing workshops, I'll try to remember to list it all downstairs. Make sure you have links. I'll try to remember. I'll try. In the meantime, what I wanted to do was Halloween these brightly colored tags, Halloween them up, if that makes sense. So I start out by doing some really dark stamping over them. So I have these fun new background stamps from Whimsy. This one is the Checkerboard Doodles. The other one was Goth Skulls background. I have a couple others, but these were the two that I settled on for this project, and I'm super happy with them. So you can see this way of stamping with the background stamp. I didn't want to pull out my MISTI this time. I just peeled off that release paper on the back side, and they stick perfectly down to my craft mat, and I ink them up, and then I put the paper, the tag in this case, on top of the stamp and use that scrap piece of paper so that I can rub all over it and make sure that I have a good image. Now on both of these, the images actually aren't as good as I would have hoped, but because I knew A, they're Halloween, so they can be grungy, it's okay, that's what I go for, and B, I knew that I was going to be doing the heat embossing, and heat embossing enhances everything. It makes those colors pop, and it can take a project definitely up to the next level. So I knew that I was going to be doing that. So heat embossing, guys, is one of my most favorite techniques. I think it's one of the things that got me kind of sold on stamping 20 plus years ago. But very, very simple, just the stamping, the heat embossing, and then I decided I wanted to grunge them up a little bit more, make them a little bit darker, so I had to do some distress ink blending around the edges. So here I've got some black soot with a little blender brush from Rabbit Hole Designs. Sorry, and just going around the edges of both of them, just kind of darkening them up. And then I had to bring in some splatter. Lots of different ways you can do splatter if you want to make these cards, or you can omit splatter altogether. Not everybody's a splatter person. That's cool, whatever you want to do. But I used my Posca pins, and of course they're all over the room now. I have splatters everywhere. But I'm happy with them. I love them. Now these two cute little images, obviously I stamped, colored, and fussy cut off screen. I'm auditioning them right here, trying to figure out what my next steps are, because I don't really have a direction at this point. So holding them up to the cards, I keep calling them cards, the tags. Of course they need something behind them to make them pop, because they're, again, the same color as the backgrounds, in the same way that I did the little voodoo dolls before. So I know that I need some kind of neutral to ground them. So I have all of these scraps on my desk that are leftovers from recent projects. So just playing with my stash to see what I have that might work. Not convinced about these circles, so I keep digging. And by the way, the little gnome is called Gnome Witch. She's a red rubber stamp set with the little kitty cat and 3 sentiments. And the Grim Reaper, he's called just that, Grim Reaper. He has a bunch of different sentiments with him, as well as a set of hearts. So super cute. I love them both. But as I was digging through my stash, I found these leftover scraps, essentially, in that little bowl there, that little jar off to the left side. And these scraps are from a project that I did for Whimsy with the Slim Pickens 1 die. What I liked about these and why I settled on them was A, it's the neutral, right? We need the neutral to ground them. It brings the white back in, so I've got the white splatters. Now I have the white frames, and I have whatever's white on the images. Not a lot, but on the Grim Reaper there's more than there is on the Witch. But so that's that rule of 3s, and I lifted it up, and so it has the frame, so it grounds the images. It also frames the images, but thirdly, and to me almost most importantly, both of the frames allow some of that background to still shine through. Not a lot, but some. And I feel like because they're not solid white panels, that I don't know, it just has a little more airy feeling to it, and it kind of marries it to that background even more. So those are my thoughts anyway. Now on the witch, two things. One, I'm not real impressed with the way I colored her coat and her hat. Just me being honest here. Two, you can see that her frame is a little bit wider on the right side than on the left side, and it's definitely wider than the Grim Reaper, but it's because I knew I was putting this cute little kitty cat on there, and he needed some room too. So you can see I kind of colored him up as a ginger, not incredibly ginger, but you know, a tan ginger. But just didn't want to go with the traditional black cat, but I think he's cute no matter how you would color him up. This, my friends, is another scrap from my stash. I did a little bit more down and dirty ink blending right through the middle with the black soot, because this, as you can see, ends up being the spine for these two tags. Now, together with the spine, they create a signature that will go into my tag book that I'm working on. It's a slow process, but I'm working on it. But I didn't want that spine to, you know, be blazing white. I didn't want the white in that spot. I wanted it to be a smooth transition from one page to the other. So once I utilized all of that time for the wiggle room that I needed to get them in place correctly, I put it up under my laptop to dry, and now I decided I wanted to put some ribbons at the top. But I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I've seen some other crafters do their ribbons like this and staple them on, and I've had mixed opinions about the projects that I've seen, but I thought I'd give it a try, and I'm not mad about it. I think it's kind of cute. What do you guys think? Do you like them like this, where they're kind of stapled on and it just looks different than being put kind of thread through the hole? Now, I'm learning to edit myself. So on the backgrounds, I also wanted to add the grunge canvas stamp, and I wanted to add the vintage script stamp, and I wanted to just do some other things, but I didn't. I said stay with these two stamps, and I love them. And also on the tags, I wanted to add some more tendrils and some more twines and things, but I didn't. And with the sentiments, these are the 3 sentiments that come with the Gnome Witch. There you can see the coloring I referred to. You can see that a little bit better. But I opted to just stick with these 3 sentiments rather than pull out my Tim Holtz clippings and make bizarre statements on each one, which I love that as well, but I'm learning to edit myself. So it's a process. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for spending a little time with me while I make these creepy, cute Half-O-Ween tags. Please check downstairs if you're interested in any of these products. I have them listed and linked down there. Again, I'm trying to remember to put Tracy Evans All in Create and her workshops down there as well, so if you're interested in that. And let me know what you think of these projects. Do you celebrate Half-O-Ween? Do you celebrate Halloween? Do you think this is just a reason to add Halloween into the mid-year? I think it is, but I love it. Anyway, guys, thank you again for spending some time with me. This is Nancy, the Handy Scandy, and I'm out.